Here is Kirk Herbstreit, ESPN college football analyst, of course, on the 6 p.m. Sports Center, talking about, I would say, the most watched prospect. Can you remember a prospect that's been watched since the 7th grade like this guy, Harry? Since the 7th grade?
No, not since 7th grade.
This might be the most watched prospect ever.
That name
Here
holds weight.
is Kirk Herbstreit. This prospect signed with Texas now. Are the Longhorns back?
I'm not one of these that say anybody's back. Texas is not back right now. I think their real fans would tell you that. But this is definitely a step in the right direction and a recruiting coup, not only to get the quarterback, but eventually watch the other dominoes fall behind him because of getting such a big-time recruit and a quarterback who's a distributor in that offense that Mac Jones and Tua and others have played in over the years.
All right. We are talking, of course, Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise, about Arch Manning. And, of course, you know what I resent about this, Harry? It's too perfect. Wait, so he's not Peyton or Eli's kid. He's the one who didn't play. He's Cooper's kid, of course, right?
Who got hurt.
And he's going to be the best out of all of them because Cooper wasn't in a position. So he's good. How good is Arch Manning?
He's good, man. He's good. When you talk about the number one prospect in 2023, a guy who has drawn attention from a LSU, a Alabama, a Texas, a Clemson, that says a lot. And all those fan bases, I'm looking at Twitter yesterday, all those fan bases are in disarray because he committed to Texas. But I'll tell you what this actually did do. For a guy like Steve Sarkisian, he struggled in year one at Texas, right? He used two quarterbacks in Hudson Card and Casey Thompson. It didn't work out. That whole ordeal, there was chatter about in year one, is Steve Sarkisian the guy? Should we start looking for someone else? Which is bizarre and crazy in my eyes because it is year one. But when you look at a guy like Steve Sarkisian in the offense, that is a pro-style offense. Got to remember, he was the OC in Atlanta for a year. He was the OC or the quarterback coach,
I think. SC with Pete Carroll, that whole thing, man. They love him. There's a lot of love for Sark in a lot of different spots.
And that's why when you look at that offense, you look at guys and receivers that play in it, it translates to the NFL. Now you have Arch Manning coming. Now recruiting-wise, as a coaching staff, as a recruiting coordinator, you can, I won't say take your feet off the gas a little bit, but Arch Manning is going to do the recruiting for you by committing to Texas.
I wonder what the NIL
now you're going to
was.
see the dominoes. The NIL.
How much?
But let me tell you why it has to be crazy.
Manning?
Let me tell you why it has to be crazy. Bijan Robinson, their star running back, right?
Yeah.
He has a deal, I believe it's with Lamborghini.
Mm-hmm.
If he has a deal with Lamborghini, think about the NIL money that Arch Manning is getting and the products that he's
What's
getting.
higher than Lamborghini? What is it, Bugatti?
Sign him up for Marquis Jet. He's gonna have his own.
Right.
He's gonna have his own private jet in college.
That's right. But here's the thing, and it's crazy because you say, well, a lot of it is like what Key would say, it's branding, right? It's all the yeast that the media puts on it. Here, I'll be Key. I'm sitting in a spot right now. It's all the yeast that I could do. Like, I already know the algorithms of his brain. He has an allergic reaction to this kind of stuff. Right. But is he really different, though? See, I think different. When I look at it, I see the same thing. All these top guys. We have to wait and see little by little. So I get it. Like from that point of view.
I'll tell you the difference, though. When you look at a guy like Arch Manning, whose uncles are Eli and Peyton.
Yep.
He's coming up. He's going through things different. And grandfather is Archie Manning. He's going through things differently than those guys have done. Think about how the game has transcended since those two have even played. So they're teaching him one-on-one things from two different quarterback perspectives, and you add the grandfather, 3 quarterback perspectives.
It's crazy. And by the way, this is another thing that's too pat about this whole story. I'm not even sure Arch Manning exists. Let me tell you something. Wait, you mean to tell me Cooper's kid, who's basically named after the grandfather, he winds up, but here's the thing about the reason I brought up the Key stuff, and the branding and how he kind of has an allergic reaction to that because he just wants to evaluate the player and not let all the extra media stuff that he calls yeast on it, not let it affect him. But I remember the Eli Manning draft. Phillip Rivers coming out. You can see he's better than Eli, right?
Yep.
But the Giants traded up. They gave up the picks that wound up being Nate Kading and Sean Merriman, who were both excellent at what they did, just about as good as it got, in order to get Eli number 1 overall. And if you look at their careers, Phillip Rivers put up better numbers, more accurate, the whole thing. More touchdowns, fewer interceptions, better won-loss record. I wouldn't undo that deal. I want Eli Manning. He brought 2 Super Bowls to the Giants. Well, did
against
he really,
the GOAT.
Right, against the GOAT. Well, did he really? It was this, it was that, it was a defense. He rode the defense. Eli Manning
made the plays when he needed to.
Let me tell you something. Nate Silver at 538 did a thing where he was trying to find out who is the most clutch postseason quarterback who ever lived, right? In other words, how much did his level in the playoffs rise from his level in the regular season? So he does this whole formula, and he comes out with Eli Manning, but there were too many other guys who you really wouldn't think of like that on the list. He's like, I got to change my methodology, right? Like, I got it, because Eli was also twice as clutch as anyone else. When he redid the list, Joe Montana was second, and it was more like the list you'd expect. Eli was still first. He was the most clutch quarterback in the history of the playoffs compared to his baseline of the regular season. He played. Think about who he beat on the road in those 2 Super Bowls. On the road the whole time, killing the greatest quarterback, beating Aaron Rodgers,
going
Brett
to
Favre
Lambeau.
at Lambeau, both of them. So would I undo that? No. And Harry, we all know the only reason they took Eli was because his last name was Manning. If Phillip Rivers was Philip Manning, they'd have stayed with Phillip Rivers, right? But that pedigree and that last name, it turned out to mean something. It actually meant something. Is that because of what you said? Because it's such a football family, because of Archie and Peyton, that these guys just know things that other quarterbacks don't?
They do, and I'm glad you brought that up. Because for no reason, don't think that Eli, Arch, and Peyton won't have their hands in a lot of things that Texas do when Arch Manning is there.
Ooh. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.